Hi guys, welcome back to AFTV. My name is James. You're going to be seeing a lot more of me now, basically doing breakdowns, talking about the team, individual players, individual performances, and where best to start than Thomas Partey. It's nearly party time. It's finally coming. This Saturday we'll be facing Manchester City at the Etihad, and we've got Partey now for the next 4 or 5 years hopefully. We've got him in his prime years and I'm super excited to see him, as I'm sure you all are as well. So let's get a better understanding of who we've signed and what he's going to bring to the club. So Thomas Partey, just a little bit about him. He stands at 185 centimetres tall. That's just a slither under 6'1". He's 27 years old and he's a central midfielder, box to box, has played a range of positions which we'll be covering of course, and he arrives for £45 million, which makes him the most expensive Ghanaian in football history. Let's take a little look why. So, born in Odumaze Krobo in Ghana, Thomas Partey played for Odometa FC before joining Atletico's youth academy in 2011. Supposedly, if you go read the stories, that was a bit of an abrupt move in which his agent suddenly put him on a flight, got him a passport and sent him to Spain to pursue a European footballing career. Anyway, it seems a good move because it all worked out for him. After joining the Atletico Academy and being basically part of the Atletico B squad, he enjoyed loan spells at Mallorca in the 2013-14 season and then Almeria in the 2014-15 season before finally making his Atletico breakthrough in 2015. And as I'm sure a lot of you know, but if you don't, he's predominantly played as a sort of a central midfielder. I mean, we're looking at a guy who's more of a box-to-box, really enjoys the defensive side of the game, so much so that he has in the past played at centre-back, right-back too, but he's incredibly talented on the ball. He has been used in a sort of attacking midfield number 10 role as well in the past. He had a really good Atletico Madrid career, playing 221 times for the club, scoring 20 goals and registering 12 assists, and in that time he was also a Europa League winner and a UEFA Super Cup winner. I'm sure a lot of you remember from that Europa League run he actually played at right back against Arsenal, and unfortunately we didn't make it past Atleti, but he was a big part of why that team was so successful that year. So I think one of the best ways to basically, I suppose, judge Partey and see what he's going to bring attributes wise is to basically have a look at two of the most loved games in football, FIFA 21 and Football Manager. Let's break down what they're saying about him statistically. So it is incredibly interesting because if you look at things like FIFA 21, comparing him to Granit Xhaka and Dani Ceballos, we're looking at a player who, when it comes to short passing and long passing, he's absolutely on a par with them. We've always associated Xhaka and Ceballos with being very, very good on the ball. Partey is just as good. You're not going to feel like you're dropping one of them or playing him with both of them and feel like you're losing anything in midfield in terms of keeping possession. Partey absolutely can do that part of the game as well. But where of course we're getting a massive upgrade is in the defensive side of the game. FIFA rank his standing tackle score at 85 out of 100, which is really high for the game, 81 for sliding tackle as well. These are very impressive stats. Other great stats like reactions, he scores an 85, interceptions 84, and then things I really love to see are composure 86, stamina 92, strength 84. I mean, we're getting a player who is going to be an absolute powerhouse in midfield. Defensively is going to give us so much as well as going forward, but more than anything he's a really composed head who can really get about the whole pitch and contribute in many, many facets to the game. And let's take a look at FM20 as well. I mean, Football Manager, don't disrespect their ratings because these are used by some scouts and clubs around the world. They take their scouting department very seriously. Let's have a little look here. Thomas Partey, in terms of long shots, they're rating him a 15. I think that's a big thing for the club. Sometimes where you can't really break a team down or you're playing against two banks of four, sometimes you need an effort at goal from distance. We know Xhaka can do it, but does he do it enough? Thomas Partey might be able to bring something different in that area. Otherwise, the usual defensive stats that we've seen that we're so impressed by, the likes of tackling, they've given him a 14 out of 20, decisions 15 out of 20, determination 15, and then other things I absolutely love to see. Teamwork 17, work rate 17, natural fitness 16. I mean, these are things that we perhaps haven't normally associated with Arsenal players, certainly in the last 10 years. But, he's up there. He's scoring really, really high. Pace 15 as well. You're not going to get around him easily. Stamina 16 and strength 15 as well. So I think there's a universal understanding amongst anyone who watches football or anyone who's, rating these players that Thomas Partey, quite frankly, physically, is an absolute powerhouse. So we've signed this, potentially world-class midfielder. Where do we expect him to play? Well, obviously that's down to Mikel Arteta, but where I think things get interesting is we've seen Arteta play probably 3 different formations at the club. We've seen Arteta play the 3-4-3, the 4-2-3-1 and the 4-3-3. Now, in essence, a lot of them, the way we play them, aren't too dissimilar, especially the 3-4-3 that Arteta's been deploying when we have the ball actually does look more like a 4-3-3 going forward anyway. But I think what Thomas Partey is going to allow is for this flexibility to be completely seamless, and Mikel Arteta is going to be able to jump from one to the other, even mid-game, much more effortlessly. So let's have a little look how he could do that. We know Thomas Partey brings defensive resilience, intelligence in midfield, and certainly mobility as well. With the 3-4-3 formation in particular, Thomas Partey can slot in and play in the midfield too, much like he did at Atletico Madrid. This will allow Mikel Arteta not to feel like he's compromising too much in the midfield, as he's a player who dominates space so well. Ceballos also someone who gets around a lot, and maybe they could form a really good partnership there, or you want someone like Granit Xhaka who's just perhaps a little bit more disciplined, who could sit there along the roaming Thomas Partey. The other tactic and formation that we just mentioned was the 4-2-3-1. Now this is an interesting one because we've not really seen it since Mesut Ozil's been left from the side. What would it essentially entail is maybe a player like Willian or someone like Smith Rowe developing through the academy to come in and play as that 10. Even perhaps Dani Ceballos could do that. But I think what's really great about that formation is it allows for a really attacking 4, perhaps overlapping wing backs as well. But Thomas Partey would be a really defensive option who can just sit there, cover the space, dominate space, and you wouldn't feel like you're compromising too much defensively by going for a naturally more attacking formation either. The same could be, I suppose, said for a 4-3-3. They would have a flatter 3, and you'd maybe play Partey with Xhaka and Ceballos, and you'd have a 3, whether it be Xhaka who's more disciplined and a roaming Ceballos and a box-to-box Partey, or perhaps maybe you have Xhaka within a bit more of a free role and you have Partey dictating things from in front of the back 4. The point is, Mikel Arteta's got many options that he can use now. He doesn't feel like he has to stick to the 3-4-3 he's been using in the past. Even for coming up against the big teams where he wants to be more pragmatic, a back 4 could be okay, simply because we've got someone like Partey who's very used to being that defensive anchor in front of a back 4 like he did for Atletico Madrid. So, away from attributes, let's talk about core stats from the 2019-2020 season. And there's plenty coming up here on screen now, but there's some in particular I really want to talk about. I think the one that really stands out for me is the shots on goal, because in a lot of other areas, Partey's proving to be an upgrade, but maybe not quite as much as he is in the shooting department. Now, I know I've just been banging on about how we've just signed this absolute upgrade and world-class defensive midfielder, but Thomas Partey is more than that. He's someone who, when he gets the ball, can be dangerous as well in the final third. Let's have a look at shots. He had 32 shots on goal last season compared to Xhaka's 11 and Dani Ceballos' 13. Considering how we lacked goals from midfield, this is a real plus. He also attempted 2.4 dribbles per 90 to Granit Xhaka's 1.1 and Dani Ceballos' 2, which isn't a massive fall, but again, the fact that he's attempting more and his success rate of 83.8% is so much higher than Xhaka and Ceballos shows you that we're getting a player who really, when he gets the ball and he's running at players, can be a real asset. He scored 3 goals to Xhaka's 1 and Dani Ceballos' 0. This is in the league. And he was also fouled 48 times. That's a lot more than Ceballos, who's only fouled 19 times, which in the final third will give us a major advantage as well. Completed passes, there's not a lot in it, nor in the passing rate. We're seeing a 84% pass completion rate, which is very, very good. But what also makes me very, very happy, back to the defensive side of things, is the tackle success rate. We're seeing a 69% tackle success rate to Xhaka's 60 and Ceballos' 51. He's only making 48 fouls to Xhaka's 56, considering they both potentially be playing defensive roles. It's encouraging to see us improving in that sense. He also completed 7.9, on average 7.9 recoveries per 90, and Jules' one was 7.9 per 90 as well. Both scores faring better than Granit Xhaka on the defensive side of the game as well. So what we're seeing is that defensively he's a massive upgrade in what we have in the squad. So look guys, that's the breakdown on Thomas Partey. A lot to digest there, but it looks like we're getting a real all-action midfielder who, yes, while I've talked about him as more defensive midfielder, can contribute going forward as well, and I think is going to help get the best out of some of our forward players and some of our fullbacks like Tierney and Bellerin, who, they're defenders but can offer so much more going forward, where they perhaps haven't been able to in the last few months. I think Thomas Partey is a really serious addition. To snap him up for £45 million is an incredible deal for Arsenal. And yeah, like you guys, I'm super excited to see him. I'm very excited to see how and where Arteta uses him. And look, I hope he starts against Man City, because I don't want to waste any time with this guy. You know, he's a world-class midfielder. Let's put him straight in there. Thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you at the next one.
This video is supported by Profit Accumulator. Profit Accumulator helps you to earn extra money by doing something called match betting. Match betting isn't gambling. And when you do it properly, and I mean properly, you can't lose. Now, you always see these promotions by bookmakers like Ladbrokes, William Hill's, Corals, offering a £50 bonus to customers. So you sign up and you might place a £50 bet on a coin toss landing on heads and a £50 bet on the same coin toss landing on tails. Now, whichever way it lands, it don't matter, because you won't win or lose any money because you've covered all of the outcomes. However, you get the £50 bonus, so you're still £50 up. Now, lots of people try to do match betting on their own, but it's very time consuming and not always easy if you don't know what you're doing. That's where Profit Accumulator come in. Even if you don't know anything about sports, they walk you through everything step by step, showing you how to accumulate money into your bank account. So get involved right now. Click the link in the description and sign up to Profit Accumulator right now.